let's make a pinch pot critter. So you can see this one I finished. I've got a couple of teeth. They're kind of sharp teeth, tongue, 3 eyes. I've got some spikes on the back. I added some texture, and I've got these arm thingies. You'll be able to kind of customize yours any way you want. Get creative with it. But we're all going to start the same way by taking your clay and then kind of divide it in half. So what I like to do is put my hands on either side and then twist it to break it in half. Oop, there we go. Okay. And I'm going to set 1/2 to the side. That is for all of your details that you add on later. Now, we're going to form this into a ball. So if you've ever made a snowball, you kind of cup your hands and then form it. And then I like to kind of go back and forth between my hands with my hands kind of cupped like that to form a nice ball. Okay, once you've got pretty nice round ball, you're going to take your thumb and stick it in until it feels like it's kind of close to the bottom without it going all the way through. Okay, so it kind of looks like this right now. Now we're going to be using a pinching motion. So the clay is going to be in between my fingers and I'm pinching it as I go around. So I'm going to start with my fingers at the very, very end of my pinch pot, and I'm just pinching around the top part here. We don't want the clay to get too thin, otherwise it's going to end up caving in. Okay, and then now that I've got that part done, I'm going to end up moving my fingers down and then continuing to pinch around, and I'm turning it in my hand, and I'm not pinching too hard. I'm just doing a little bit at a time. I'm just pinching until I feel a little bit of a give in the clay, and then I continue on, and then I can make a second round. Okay, now I'm going to move down to the lip here. Now I don't want this to get too thin, because if it does, it's going to cave in and be really hard to work with. So I think that's probably pretty good right there. Okay, so now I'm going to put this kind of on the table so that one side is a little bit more flat. See that? And I did that just by kind of tapping it on the table. And this is going to create the open mouth of my creature, which you can mess around with later, but let's just do that for right now. Okay, so I think next what we're going to add is the tongue first. Your tongue can look really any way you want, but the main thing is you don't want pieces that you attach to be too skinny and sticking out from your piece, otherwise they're going to break. So I've got some extra clay that I pinched off of my clay here, and I think I'm going to kind of roll this into a coil. That's what that's called when you roll it. And then I'm going to kind of flatten it a little bit, and I'll work on this part later. It's about that thick, and what this is going to do is stick inside like that, and maybe your tongue sticks out. The one I finished earlier, the tongue sticks out a little bit, so maybe on this one I don't want the tongue to actually stick out of the mouth. Maybe I just want it to look like it's still inside the mouth. So I stuck it in and I measured to see how far out it would go. Okay, that's pretty good. Now when we attach things, we always want to use a toothbrush and this water. So with your toothbrush, you're going to make really roughed up, scratchy lines where the tongue is going to go. Don't be gentle with this. We really want to rough and scuff it up. And then on the bottom of my tongue, I'm going to do the same thing. Rough it up. Isn't that kind of funny? We're actually using a toothbrush in the monster's mouth. In our creature's mouth. Okay, so this is called scoring. So when I put those two pieces together, it's going to end up being kind of like clay Velcro so that the pieces don't come apart as easily with those scratch lines. And then the reason we're using water is when water mixes with clay, it's called slip, which is clay glue. Okay, so I've got a little water, got my scratch lines done. So using one hand on one side, kind of bracing it, I'm going to kind of just push that down into place. Boop, 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 boop. And then if you want to, you can take a popsicle stick and just kind of indent where the middle of that tongue is. All right. If you've got a tongue that kind of sticks out, maybe you can curl it around. Mine kind of bends up a little bit. Just remember that if this part gets too skinny, it's going to break off. As it dries, it'll break off. Okay, so let's move on to the eyes. But here's the thing. I've noticed as we start working on the outside of our clay, sometimes the mouth of our critter likes to get really squished. So I like to take a rolled up paper towel and just kind of set that inside the mouth. That way it doesn't collapse on me as I'm working. All right, let's make the eyes. Now you have to have at least one eye. So maybe you've got a cyclops creature. Maybe you've got two eyes. Maybe you've got three. Maybe you've got more. That's a choice that's totally up to you. You can see I used 3 and I made little eyelashes on the one I did before. So I think for this one, I'm just gonna do 2 eyes. So I'm gonna take some clay, and I think it would look kind of funny if one eye is a little bit smaller than the other one. Wouldn't that be kind of funny? So I'm making sure 1 ball of clay. Now I've got this in the palm of my hands and I'm rolling it into a ball. Do the same thing with the other one, my other eye. And then I'm going to be attaching these to the top of my pinch pot open mouth creature. So you know now, whenever we attach things, we want to use our toothbrush, score where it's going to go, really rough it up, and then do the same thing on the pieces you're attaching. So here's one eye. Now for the eyes, I like to push it on and then do a little bit of a twist. That helps me know it's really going to stay nice and stuck, is if I kind of wiggle it and twist it on. Okay, same thing. Other one. Twist it up. Twist it on. Ta-da! Okay, now I'm going to make a little pupil, that inside part of my eye, by using a skewer. I'm just kind of pressing in and wiggling it around to create the pupil of my eye. Now if you want to add a little eyebrow, maybe you can do that. Maybe yours has eyelashes. I did eyelashes on my other one. What if I did a little eyebrow here? Or you could just have nothing. Totally up to you. Okay, got my eyes attached. Now, what about teeth? We can add some teeth. On this one, you can see I made just 2 teeth. I could have added more if I wanted to, but I've got some pointy teeth there. So I think for this one, I'm going to make mine more like buck teeth. So I've got some clay. I think that's a little too much. And I'm just going to roll it into a ball to start with and kind of just flatten it boop, 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 between my fingers to create more of a square. Do the same thing with the other one. Maybe yours is a toothless creature. That's totally up to you. Now here's the thing. This paper towel is in the way. So when you're ready for the teeth, you're going to have to take your paper towel out, maybe fix any parts that got wrinkly because of the paper towel. And then, you guys know the drill now. I need to scratch the roof of the mouth where these teeth are going to go. I want them to be top teeth. So where they're going to go, scratch, scratch, scratch. really rough it up, add some water, and then the top of my teeth, and then squish into place. And then I need to reshape my tooth a little bit there. Do the same thing on the other one. Scratch one side. And put it into place. How funny is that? You can do any kind of teeth you want. Maybe yours are pointy. Maybe you've got some on the bottom. I'm just going to add the 2 here and call it good. Okay, so from this point on, I mean, you can be super creative with what you do. Maybe yours has little arms or tentacles. Maybe you've got some spikes running down the backside. Maybe you've got a little tail. I think I'm going to add a little tail on mine. So, taking some extra clay. But anytime you're attaching clay on, always want to scratch. That's called scoring. I think I got a little bit too much water there. Both pieces so that they kind of form Velcro when they attach. And then kind of give it the wiggle test. There we go. Mine's gonna sit. I want my tail to kind of be right along where it sits. I'm gonna smooth that out. Just remember, like I've said, we don't want any pieces sticking out to be too skinny because they will break off, and you don't want that. Okay. Now that I've got it smoothed on, I can maybe create some texture on my tail. Kind of looks like a little tadpole a little bit. What if you add some texture to the body? Like I could make it look like scales by using the tip of this popsicle stick. Maybe it's got polka dots. There's so many creative things that you can do with this project, with your creature. So have fun. Can't wait to see all the amazing things you guys do.